So Donald Trump has now alleged that he used the Department of Justice to help Ron DeSantis win the 2018 election for governor in Florida. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So Donald Trump just implicated the Department of Justice in, essentially, election fraud. Trump is now claiming that he used the Department of Justice and the FBI to help Ron DeSantis win the 2018 election for governor in Florida. Here's what Donald Trump just posted on his third-rate social media platform, with apologies to third-rate social media platforms. Referring to the DeSantis election, he said, "I also fixed his campaign, which had completely fallen apart. I was all in for Ron, and he beat Gillum, but after the race, when votes were being stolen by the corrupt election process in Broward County, and Ron was going down 10,000 votes a day, along with now Senator Rick Scott, I sent the FBI and the U.S. attorneys, and the ballot theft immediately ended, just prior to them running out of the votes necessary to win. I stopped his election from being stolen." Okay, friends, so let's be clear. This is Donald Trump saying that he used the Department of Justice, U.S. attorneys, and the FBI to alter the ongoing vote count to make sure that Ron DeSantis won in 2018. Now, when I first saw this post, a few things came to mind. First of all, anytime Donald Trump makes any assertion, you can bet that it is either an exaggeration, a mischaracterization, or an outright lie. But I thought, okay, let's have some fun with this. Let's try to figure out what's really going on here. And I think there are three possibilities. One, outright lie. That's always a safe bet when it comes to anything Donald Trump says. Or two, Donald Trump is telling the truth, and he actually had what was then Bill Barr's Department of Justice corruptly intervene in the 2018 governor's race in Florida to help Ron DeSantis get elected, right? Because we know that Bill Barr and Donald Trump corrupted and weaponized the Department of Justice to do favors for Donald Trump's friends and criminal associates like Mike Flynn and Roger Stone, and to punish Donald Trump's enemies like Michael Cohen. So maybe Trump's telling the truth. He actually had Bill Barr corruptly interfere in the Florida election in 2018. Or maybe there's a third thing going on. Maybe Donald Trump is telling the truth because he is about to be outed. We're about to learn information about Donald Trump using DOJ to somehow interfere in the 2018 governor's election in Florida. And you know Donald Trump, he always wants to get out in front of information that lets us all know he did wrong, he's corrupt, he committed crimes. So what he does is he just admits to it. Why? Because when you admit publicly that you've committed crimes, it kind of makes people scratch their head and ask, well, if he's admitting it, well, maybe it's not really wrong for him to have done it. Isn't that Donald Trump's MO? Admit to his crimes out loud, publicly? Has he been held accountable for any of those crimes yet? And here's the thing, friends. Now that Donald Trump has said he used the Department of Justice, the U.S. attorneys, the FBI, to corruptly help Ron DeSantis win the governorship in 2018, 2018, the Department of Justice has to say something about that. Set the record straight, because there are people out there who will believe it and who will make their day-to-day life decisions, political decisions accordingly. So I think the Department of Justice has an obligation to set the record straight. You know, we the people have a right to know what the heck is going on, right? We're being blinded on the justice front. And I suggest that's not right. And there's one other thing, friends. You know, the midterms just ended. And man, were they blue, right? Crazy blue, historically blue. We are out there, election after election, voting our asses off, voting blue. Part of the reason we're doing that, President Biden, is because we're desperate for accountability for the crimes of Trump and his criminal associates, his co-conspirators. That's why we're getting out the vote. That's why we're working overtime and voting in record numbers for candidates who are Democrats, because we're looking for accountability. And it hasn't come. Now, I don't mean to the foot soldiers of the insurrection, because let me tell you, I've been sitting in court every day watching federal prosecutors from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia, yes, my former professional home, kick the you-know-what out of that case every day, week after week. Not only that case, but insurrection case after insurrection case, doing heroic work, working around the clock. We, the people, are extraordinarily well represented by those men and women of the Department of Justice, of the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office. So I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the hierarchy of the insurrection, not just the foot soldiers, not just the people who Donald Trump ordered to attack the Capitol, and not just the people who wanted to stop our democracy for their own reasons because they didn't want Joe Biden's win to be certified. Not those people. I'm talking about the command structure of the insurrection, the organizers, the funders, the planners, the inciters. Not a single one of them have had a minute of accountability. Visit them. And yet we continue to vote our asses off blue because we are desperate for that accountability to come. Friends, rest assured, just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't happen. I believe to my core it will happen. I do not think Merrick Garland and company are prepared to give it away, give our democracy away to the likes of Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis. Because if they don't prosecute Trump and company, they're giving our democracy away. And I don't believe they're going to do that. And friends, can I add, thank you for tuning in to these Daily Justice Matters videos. I appreciate all of you who tune in. I feel like we're all in this mess together. We're all in this fight together. That's why we do what we do here at Justice Matters. As you may know, it's an all-volunteer effort. We are up and running 7 days a week, posting a legal analysis video every day.